We be sadie, Asunia, ye na dia ubi, Asunia, yakani, Asunia, we be sadie, Asunia, ye na dia ubi, Asunia, awo na uwa, Asunia, yakani ubi kwa, Asunia,
Nisonyi na bakwewe ya sunyamiye abawa hege enino saswa miti nisonyi na sene nyamyeni wa misu okwe mwesu gabi okwacha kusuni ya uwakwa si fue a torturir un beña David, ella de no me trayó de radicua, no pipeni wa munisio, dice mi nada ni muade yo, es una vía fra.
We be sadie, Asunia, ye na dia ubi, Asunia, Anti fremae, Asunia, yakani ubi kwa, Asunia, Esi mize mukokena, ye wakati kwa wo. Enti eye bana ufa fa ubeduntem Efi mize mukokena ye wopeti kwa wo Enti eye bana ufa fa
womire
Nesu eradia Otinya yasinu Odi izo funati eriane nadi Enfie diana yo Ewo se musuho Wabisadiye maya, enjese ye uwene fiusu. Nofani kuwa, oforia pie, asana watu. Wabisadiye, Asunia, ye deri budwe, Asunia, awuo na umwa, Asunia, yakani ubi kwa, Asunia,
Yemuno wane duwa, okoso su odidida, eti wusu kunche wenu wana. Yemuno wane duwa, okoso su odidida, eti wusu kunche wenu wana. When that's so sad, it don't know why I be fair. When he does so, he said, Yakama, home the one, and he bring number. I soon day, yes, my push money. Yakami, so I said, see everything we are, not the bread of the sweet. Suyenti afe, ejawa dumi wani monya, nsurobi biabio. Kristoni be konsore, ebi asidi sube konsore, eso Kristoni wani da sokesiye. Efiri se, I brought chira mi se, otafe manile udo na bibi asia me sorry. Amani mu isweda.
Where is a day? Asuria, Saobe. Yeah, teacher, my Asuria, Saobe. Adisabina Uriya, Asuria, Saobe. Yakadi Kideko, Asuria, Saobe. Where is a day? Asuria.
All right, everyone. Good evening, everyone listening to everyone tonight. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. And tonight,
why is Richmond Ford the best place to purchase a pre-owned vehicle?
Because you said you wanted to buy with.
Okay, technical stuff.
Kosuwa na tie era one radio empenyini say yensoma na motenten yesoma banyasafo era one radio yede nsem anomuaye ebrem.
All right, we are trying new things tonight, so just bear with me. Of course, you are listening to Era One Radio, and tonight I come your way with another edition of Divine Connection. I'm your host, Charles Boison. Tonight we're talking about being anxious for nothing. Of course, you remember last week I did something on Emmanuel. God is still with us, even as we inch closely towards the Christmas. And tonight I have a few trending issues. Of course, Christmas is on the way coming a few days from now. We'll be getting into the Yuletide and the celebrations. At the same time, too, I'm sure there are many who might be stressing out and going through some anxious moments. So tonight, I just want to come your way to exhort you, to lift you up, and to just let you know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. Tonight, some of the trending issues that we have going on is that COVID-19 is still real. And in the United States, I hear the Delta has migrated or evolved to what we call the Omicron. And that also has 73% increase in cases. So, beloved, this virus is real. If you haven't vaccinated yet, and there are some reasons why you don't have to, that is fine. But if you don't have any reason as to why you don't have to vaccinate, I will implore you to. I have gotten all my 2 doses and I'm still alive. So pretty much, please, if you don't have any extenuating factors why you shouldn't vaccinate, I think it's a pretty good deal, because this evening, the President of the United States spoke passionately about what is going on, that we all have to try. If you have to go for the booster, please let it be. Okay, all right. Christmas is very near, very, very close to us. And of course, it's a season where we give, we receive, we bless, and we enjoy all the festivities. Tonight, I'm not in the studio alone. My niece is here to always support me, comfort all the way from UK. I know it's a little bit late in UK. I think it's about 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. But she stays over to enjoy our, broadcast. And of course, I see Benedicta Eban is also on the line. So please call your friend to call a friend to call a friend, as we always say on this. The number to call in is 240-280-2633. 240-280-2633. Or if you want a text, it is 510-931-0946. Call and enjoy the conversation. I mean, I'm not having a serious or super. I'm just having an exhortation. Of course, around this time of the year, most of my guests take leave to go visit family members. So that's why I think last week and this week I have to go solo. Of course, you are listening to Era One Radio. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and please, if you don't have the app, go to your Google Store, Play Store, download. It's a blue background with a yellow, strings on. Download, and anytime we are live, which is of course 24/7, you will get us and enjoy the gospel music, all the program that CEO Dr. Osetutu, also known as Ostus, has put together. So tonight, a shout out to Ostus, his wife Dorcas, and the Era One team. Thank you for all that you are doing. Of course, Era One, we are here to entertain, to educate, and to inform. We don't insult on this station. Okay. All right. It's here for Facebook and also YouTube. No, who friend now? Share what number near 240-280-2633. We make us say me chilling yamu echu ebewa emienu and 90 and I 2 so 240-281-26 240-280-2633. And if you want to text, it's 510-931-0946. So come and let's enjoy this session. All right, let me remind you where you are tonight. Of course, it's Era One And so you want to
Kosuanity era one radio empenyini say yensoma na motenten yesoma banyasafo era one radio yedin nsem anomuaye ebre.
All right. In my 5 decades of life, I have realized that anxiety will never leave us. We always have anxiety around us. Even with Christmas coming, the kids and the little ones are so excited Christmas is coming. They are wondering what is in their boxes. They want to open it so bad. They don't want to wait till Christmas. And those who have not been very good throughout the year, they are wondering whether Santa brought them anything. And the parents too are stressed. They are anxious because, well, some people couldn't have even the money, the l'argent to buy all the gifts. And of course, like I said earlier on, we have all this COVID-19 going on. So this Christmas is not as we would have expected. But of course, these stresses are all part of life. So just like last year, we will still celebrate Christmas. We will herald the birth of our Savior Jesus Christ. So do as much as you can. Don't stress yourself. Don't be too anxious. That's what I'm going to talk about tonight. Being anxious for nothing. All right. So I'm going to take my exhortation from the book of Philippians 4:6-8. I like reading a lot of books. I love books. And especially the Bible is a classic book to me. Sometimes I wonder the several or the numerous artists that came together and wrote this book. I mean, several years ago. And whatever they wrote centuries ago still apply nowadays. I mean, somebody might say, oh, one is Old Testament, one is New Testament. But even if you don't believe the authors or whoever wrote it, I believe it was inspired by God. But even if you don't believe the source of this book, the details of this book betters our life, makes our life better. Because when you read Philippians chapter 4, which I'm going to read by the Apostle Paul, when you read from 6-8, it says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your request to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. By the way, the song that I played to introduce my program was by Yao Sapon, a renowned Ghanaian musician. Very classic music, and I love that music. And the music is talking about what is your problem. Everybody has problem, but then lift up your eyes, look unto God. That is where your salvation is. All right, so verse 8 says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, and whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. Amen. All right, so that is what we're talking about tonight. We are talking about being anxious for nothing, but in all things, with thanksgiving, present your request unto God. All right, let me ask you this question before I go on. Are you an anxious person? Do you experience worry? Do you find yourself nervous, especially about an imminent situation or with an uncertain outcome? That is the question I'm asking. Maybe you did not study for an exam or whatever it is, and so you are a bit jittery. When you were going for the exam, you felt like you are not ready. Anxiety began to set in. We all go through that. And then another question is, can you live in this world without anxiety? That is a big question. I'm not sure of anybody who can live in this world without any anxiety. And as I said earlier on, especially with Omicron coming our way again, things have become basa, issues here and there, and we don't even know how we're going to step up. But then if you are vaccinated and you have your booster, there's some bit of confidence that, okay, I have this, vaccine, so I'm going to make it. And so Paul is talking to us about the fact that in the midst of chaos, in the midst of what you are going through, don't be too anxious. But instead of worrying too much, about the situation you are going through, why don't you put it into prayer? Why don't you talk to God? And Paul says that when you do that, when you surrender your problems to God, in the midst of that, while you are praying and giving God thanks, especially thanks, there seems to be some peace that comes over you. So that's what I'm going to entreat you tonight. We all have anxiety. We all go through stress and problems. I mean, like I said earlier on, Christmas itself, though joyous as it is, brings some people, chaos and stuff. So we're talking about peace. And is there peace anywhere? Peace is not the absence of, problems. I mean, some people go through problems. You might be going through problems and still experience the peace that comes from above. So Paul says, whilst you are going through your stress and your anxiety, don't dwell on it. Be thankful. thank God for what you have, and there's that refreshment that comes your way. So putting Paul's exhortation in mind, I want us to look at some virtues, some discipline that will help us to overcome anxiety. There are some things that I call them, the virtues of life, that even if you are praying and you are not receiving any blessing or miracle, just by following these virtues, life can be better. Believe in God and pray, but whilst you are doing that, still apply these principles that will work. So when you read a scripture, Paul says that finally, that is I think the verse 8, it says finally. And when somebody says finally, what it means is that I have said so many things above. Now I'm coming to the conclusion of what I try to communicate to you. So Paul is saying that finally, as a speaker will say, I am coming to my conclusion. And the finally might be 1 minute, it could be 2 minutes, it could be 3 minutes. Somebody's finally is an hour or two. Somebody's finally is just a second. So Paul says that finally, after all that I've said, this is what I want to tell you. I want to tell you about the whatevers. The whatevers. And he begins by saying, whatever is true. What is true? Something that is of reality, that is, accurate. We speak about the truth. Do you fabricate your story? Do you add spice to it, or what do you do? And as we gradually approach the end of the year, 2021, of course, I know we will begin to have our prophecies coming from our prophets. They will begin to tell us what the year has in store for us. 2022. But the fact is, are you going to tell us what is coming from you after eating a big bowl of food? Or you are going to communicate to us what you hear from God? And unfortunately, there are some churches that, because of fame, they will, want to come out and tell us the mind of God. Some of them are true, some are not. But then before you do that, is what you coming to say true? The things that you communicate to your friends and your family, are they true? Are you just trying to jibe them? So Paul is saying that let us, employ these virtues. Live your life on such a note that when you say yes, it means yes. Your yea is your yea and your nay is your nay. We have to be accurate in what we say. So Paul is saying, after all that I've said to you, finally put on these virtues, which will help you in times of anxiety. So we have to be able to do what? Present our information with truth. Not jibe it, not spice, not make it sound true that somebody, sound as if, yes, somebody has to believe what we are saying. But then if you're a truthful person, you don't even have to provide any evidence and people will believe you. Just like you send your daughter or son to go and buy something from the store. As soon as they come, they give you the receipt or they give you the change. They do that for a whole series, years on end. And so it becomes obvious that they have that attitude of, truthfulness. They give you the receipt, whatever it is, they tell you how much they bought the thing. So you begin to, have some trust for them. So maybe they forget and they lose the receipt. Oh, daddy, I bought this for $20. That trust has been, displayed. So you don't even go wondering whether they are jiving you. So that attitude that Paul is talking about, true, being true to ourselves, speaking the truth is very important. He also speaks about being noble. My late mom told me something. He said my name Charles means a noble man. I'm still living to it to make sure it's true. So I've been making every attempt to live as a noble man. And nobility is an encompassing word. It encompasses what we call, honesty, generosity, courage, etc. Are you an honest person? Are you somebody who, generous? You are honest. When you say this is this, you say you meet somebody at 8 o'clock, you do it. Of course, nobody is perfect with 100% accuracy, but if you live your life 90 to 100% of that spirit of nobility, of course, people will trust you for your word. And so Paul is saying, in order to avoid some of all this anxiety that we go through, we should pick on these virtues that will help us. He also talks about whatever is right. What is right? Right and true are not the same thing. Right and true are not necessarily the same. Right is morally good, justified, or acceptable. Something might be true. Somebody can tell you, 6 comes before 7. That is true. The man has married 3 wives. That is true. But the fact that something is true doesn't make it, right. The fact that you did this or you did it doesn't make you a right person. A right attitude. We have to look at some of these virtues that will make our life anxiety-free. Somebody says something could be true, but then is it right? Before you speak or act or do anything or send a message, is it right to send it at the right time? Just like I mentioned about the prophecy. If a prophecy comes for somebody that you think is going to die in 2022 or 2023, what is the right thing to do? Do you go in the midst of everybody and say, oh, God showed me that 2022 so and so would die? The whole public is aware of it. The right thing to do is what? Maybe you look for the person's number, call him in secret and say, hey, this is what the Spirit of God revealed to me. And so I'm telling you, take off so and so. And so it is right that you heard a message, all right, but then is it right and appropriate to do it in the midst of a crowd? You might scare people, you put the whole nation to fear. So you might want to think about how appropriate to do it. Paul goes on to talk about what is pure. The dictionary defines pure as something that is not mixed or adulterated. When we did chemistry at school, if you want to separate sugar from sand, those two are not pure. There was a chemical equation, there's a chemical procedure to be able to separate the sugar from the salt so that you can get each of them in a pure, refined state. When we talk about pure, we're not just talking about the purity of Mary, the mother of God, or her virginity. That is something that we can't even attain to. It used to be that when you were a virgin, it goes so much of respect, purity, everything. But these days, you can't even say virginity anywhere. And in this country, there are boys and girls who are dying to break their virginity. It amazes me. Back where I grew up from, you have to be chaste and pure before you even think about getting married. But these days, cultural differences. If a boy or girl is 18 years and he or she hasn't broken their virginity, it thinks it's a taboo or something that is crazy. But I want to sound out to our little children that being pure, being chaste, being, holy, or what to say before your marriage is something that God really admires and we all admire. I'm not saying everybody should be virgin. No, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that just an example, talking about purity, the things that come from our mouth. Do you weigh the things you say before you speak them? Jesus said something. He said it's not what goes into a man's or a woman's stomach that makes him, defiled or not pure, but then it's what comes out of you. Are you somebody who curses a lot? Do you curse a lot? I mean, if I meet somebody for the first time, speak to the person for maybe the first 3 minutes, I can know what kind of caliber you are. Do you swear a lot? Do you curse a lot? Do the things that come from you, did they edify you? Did they bring some enrichment to somebody's life? Maybe that is your lifestyle. I'm not condemning you, but we that call ourselves Christians, we have to be able to live the kind of life that makes our life, attractive to others. All right, I'll take one and I'll take a quick break. Paul also mentions what is lovely. This means that being delightful for beauty, harmony, or grace in terms of attractiveness, but not just lovely. Some people are beautiful on the outside, but they are not lovely inside. And that's what they say. When you meet somebody, look for character. Beauty is good. If somebody is beautiful, that is a plus. But there are some people who are beautiful and proud. But we have to exhibit that attitude of loveliness. People meet you and for the first time, they just fall in love with you. Somebody meets you. I'll just tell you a story. I went to do inspection in, Pennsylvania not too long ago. And this reception in a front desk, of course, receptionists or whatever are trained to be nice to people. But I could tell that this particular lady is extra nice. I mean, so nice, not just doing a job as it should be done, but she just went extra to make you feel like you are welcome in this hotel. And so when you leave the hotel, you feel like you want to tip the person. I mean, you have to exhibit that loveliness. Somebody meets for the first time and they just fall in love with the way you speak, your mannerism, the way you carry yourself. Of course, we are all supposed to be, affable to people, but some people have that gift. They are just talented. You see that this person has gone the extra mile, not just going to the classroom to learn how to be nice to customers. It is there. No matter how you do, you can step on their toes. You can do whatever you want to do, and that loveliness is there. All right, so let me take a quick break. And if you have any questions, if you want to contribute, just come in and let's have.
Kosuanity Era One Radio. Empenyini say, Yensuma na motenten, yesuma benyasafo. Era One Radio. Yedin sem anumwaye ebre.
Hello, beautiful people of Ghana. This is Banahine Specialist Hospital. We are so excited to announce to our people Ghana that we are finally opened and we are accepting patients. At Banahine Specialist Hospital, our extraordinary physicians and nurses are here to provide a high-quality medical service to our extraordinary patients. Our services include primary care services, maternal, neonatal, and pediatric services. We also have an in-house pharmacy. We have x-ray and laboratory services available to you. Come to us for all your healthcare needs and you will be happy you did, because we believe that health is wealth. Thank you and stay blessed.
All right, we are continuing with the Divine Connection Show. I'm your host, Charles Boison, and the number to call in is 2402-802-633. If you want to text, it's 510-9310946. And I just played a quick ad of Banahini Hospital in Ghana. Everyone believes in promoting our own and what is good and acceptable. I mean, if you are somewhere in Ghana, you go for vacation and you want to spend your time in the hospital just checking things out, or you want to go and conduct colonoscopy or whatever it is, visit this hospital and they will give you a first class treatment. And of course, Era One, like I said, we promote good things. So if you want us to promote your product, just let us know. Call the studio and Dr. Setitu will gladly take your message. So we can propagate what you are doing. We want to spread our information to help. All right, everybody. All right, tonight we're doing a little exhortation. Like you said, I said, you see, I'm here by myself. My guests are not here. And we still have to do something to bless our people. I'm being blessed myself. Whatever I'm saying tonight, I'm being blessed myself. So join me and let's have this discussion. I know Comfort is still there, and I know she might be popping with a few comments later on. All right. Continue with being anxious for nothing. When you look at that phrase, it doesn't mean you can't be anxious. Of course, we all get anxious over so many things. Your first day at school, you were anxious because when you were going to the classroom, you were expecting that your teacher will ask you to put your hand over your ears. And if you can't touch it, which means you can't go to a certain class. That's how they use the criteria they use for going to schools in those days. Here is not the same. Remember going for your first appointment, interview, you were scared. You were wondering what questions the CEO, the manager was going to ask you. Are you going to get a job? When you were going to get married, I mean, anxiety is everywhere. But Paul is saying that in the midst of anxiety, what do? Give thanks whilst you are presenting your petition before God. All right, we go on to the next one. That is whatever is admirable. Admirable just means deserving of esteem. Do you respect people? Do you esteem people for who they are? Do you esteem your husband? Do you esteem your wife, those around you? Do you respect people because they have cash, or you respect them for who they are? We have to be admirable. Whatever is admirable. Of course, some people will not present that trait, but whatever it is, it's not up to you to discriminate. So if you see somebody that is admirable, if possible, you can even say it. When we were growing up, we found girls that we were interested in this what we call the POP, plaster of Paris. You found a girl you couldn't even open your mouth and say, "Hey, sister, girl, can we be friends?" We were so scared that the girls will bounce you. If you see someone that is attractive, I'm not saying go chasing people, but we should be vocal. We should be able to express ourselves and let people feel that they also matter. That is being admirable and esteeming people. All right, so in verse 8b, this is what Paul says. If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about certain. As much as possible, dwell on these for a victorious living. Paul wants us to go into thinking about these things, that if there is virtue in this that he mentioned, if there's something that is praiseworthy, think about those things. Of course, he's not asking you to go and steal your neighbor's animal or whatever it is. He wants us to, think about what is good, what is beneficial, what can help us. And that is what he's talking about. And then he goes on to say in verse 9, by saying that whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice, and the God of peace will be with you. So Paul, essentially what Paul is saying is that whatever you heard him say, of course, he became a mentor to Timothy and quite a number of pastors. He said that the things that I'm doing, of course, you have to have somebody who is a role model to you. It's not everybody who can be a role model. You have to look for somebody who has a substance. You're not going to follow somebody who has a, negative lifestyle, to use a few phrases, somebody who is ganjaring and shame. That's not the person you want to. You want to follow somebody who you think is ahead of you, who you want to imitate and get to the point that the person has gotten to, so you can also advance. Paul is saying that when you imitate me, you learn of the things that I'm saying. Not just, Paul didn't just say this thing, he also did them. That is what Paul did. So he's telling us that the things that I've done. Imitate those things and also do what? Grow like I have grown. So we're going to be talking about, in a few minutes, I'll be talking about a mentor. What Paul was essentially saying is that you have to be a mentee. Study me as a mentor and learn from me. And when you have done the things that I've spoken about, when you have obeyed these principles and this discipline, then the peace of God will follow, because the things that Paul said, none of them is negative. From the things of being true to admirable to everything that Paul said, they are all disciplines and attributes that when you follow, it's going to end you well. And somebody says that if you are following the very dictates of God's heart, fasting is good, but you don't have to fast 200 days to receive something from God. This is just a side note. Fasting is good. It expedites stuff. It's good. Jesus recommends that we fast and pray. But if you are following the tenets, these beliefs, you don't have to wail and cry because your lifestyle is already in line with what God expects of you. You don't have to wail and cry before God hears you. Yes, because if your life is in the way that God has ordained, and as a believer, as a child of God, once you are born again, your spirit is born again. So you are already on the same wavelength as Christ. You are joint heirs with the Messiah. So when you pray, it doesn't take you that long as you believe. And so Paul is giving us this additive. Don't just pray and say, oh, yes, it's good. And some people will pray, and right after they pray, they go and do some serious thing. What is the benefit of going to pray and after that jumping into your neighbor's yard and stealing or doing something crazy or calling somebody and, ripping them apart, saying all kinds of things that will demoralize them? It doesn't show good tenets of Christianity. So Paul is saying that if you will follow these things that I have done, it will end you well. That is when the peace of God will come. And even when there's anxiety, you still can overcome it because you are following these tenets and you pray and you surrender your problems to God. That is when the freshness, the peace that surpasses all human understanding. This is not the understanding that comes from this world or not the wisdom that this world gives. This is the understanding that comes from above. And it's first of all pure. No man can give you that peace. A story is told about a competition where people were asked to, the contestants were supposed to draw something that depicts peace. And I'm sure you've heard the story over and over again. And there's one little boy that drew a picture of a bird, flying bird sitting on a tree, bird, sitting on a tree near the beach with the storms raving. And, the storms were up and down. Everybody would think that this thing was going to perturb the bird. But this bird sat on the tree, not move, not perturb. That is peace. Having anxiety, having things going around you, but it doesn't bother you. The bird was so peaceful. It was just enjoying the peace that comes from God. So tonight we're talking about being anxious. I believe next week I'm going to have my guest to carry on with our discussion. Of course, Thursday too, I'll have my guest coming into us to do our discussion. But tonight I'm just trying to bless you with the fact that we can be anxious. And Bible doesn't speak about against being anxious. You can be anxious, but whilst being anxious, surrender those anxiety to God. Pray about it and let the peace of God that comes from above surround you. Let me take a quick message and then we'll zoom into the mentorship in case you are wondering where you're listening at tonight.
Kosuanati era one radio empenyini say yensuma na motenten yesuma benyasafo era one radio yedin sem anumwaye ebre.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. That was a very good music. Well, you're still listening to Era One Radio. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and Modern Ghana Radio. This is the point where I bring you a few announcements. I said it earlier on that you need to go to your Google Store, your Play Store, and download the Era One Radio app. And this is where you get music played 24/7. This is a 24/7. Era One is not even 2 years. It's just around a year ago that Dr. Osetutu set it up. When COVID started, he had inspiration to put this up. And he did it with a notion of making it a non-profit where whatever proceeds come in will be used to help the less fortunate, especially in Africa. So if you are listening to us tonight and you are touched, the Holy Spirit touches you, you want to say, oh, Dr. Ostus, you guys are doing a good job. I want to contribute my little quota, my widow's mite or my widower's mite to help you carry on your vision. Of course, it's not going to say no. So call in, support our product. Of course, we don't solicit for help. We don't beg for you people to, but if you out of your own heart willingly want to support us, so you can do or you can accomplish the vision of this radio station, that would be awesome. Of course, there are people who are needy that needs to be helped. So whatever small you can put in, call him and, bless him, go a long way to bless the less fortunate, needy. All right. I said earlier on that Era One is a 24/7 radio broadcast. We do it on the Modern Ghana Radio. We are live Facebook and YouTube. And these are some of the programs that we have lined up because we believe in informing people, entertaining, and educating people whilst we're doing that. So every Monday and Wednesday, we have our brother Kobe. He hosts this nice program called Yensom. And what he does, he, catches news from across the world, globally, especially Ghana. He educates. If I want to hear something that is going on in Ghana, I just tune into his program, and he is going to give me updated news that don't even appear on the Ghana web. This guy can fish news because he was a teacher back then, and so he knows where to get all the information. So between actually that's 7 and 8 on Mondays. But before his show comes, on that same Monday, we have the Financial Premier Program where Dr. Siedu Mafo and his team, Dr. Prince and Dr. Isiam, they come and teach us. Of course, they can teach you how to go make your money. But once you've made your money, they can advise you where to put the money to make more. Like they say, your money should be working for you. If you just get the money and you just put it somewhere, it doesn't make that much. Even Jesus frowns against that. In the parable of the the talents, he gave 5 to 1, gave 3 to 1, and gave 1 to another person. And the 5 talented guy invested and he made double. He made more 100%. And then the one that had 3 also did the same. But the one that had the 1, I don't know whether because he had only 1, he despised it. He just dug a hole and put it there. That is not cute thing to do. So you have to let the money be invested and work hard for you. That is what these brothers come to teach us, how to invest, whether it's savings bond, whether it's mutual funds, whatever it is. Just tune in on Mondays from 6 to 7, and these guys will bless you. And then Kobe comes from 7 to 8. All right. And then on Tuesdays, I come your way just like tonight with a divine connection. I have a host of guests around me. We discuss pertinent issue, and the show is called Divine Connection, where we bring divinity into our human life, divinity into humanity. All right, and Wednesday evening, of course, Kobe comes back, so that is for certain. Thursdays, I come back with a Divine Connection. I have another host, guest who come to bless us with his knowledge and skills and all the apple you can take about and see. Yawa de bia, brand de bia, Monday bia, we are here live. Call in and listen. And then on Thursday evening, we have the three, I was going to say three, so I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from, but our 3 personalities, AJO2, Auntie Mambi, and then Pastor Fum. These trio come in to teach us, the details on marriage. They take certain topics and they almost bad by in seminum, just almost bad by when you out and say, yes, you are sober. And that is how you can tune up your marriage and see whether you are still properly married or what to sing. And then on Friday evenings to the Count Your Blessings come. No miss, Friday evening from 6 going, Brother ACM or Brother Siedu, sometimes Pastor Dr. Osus helps them out. They come to give us testimony. So they call it Count Your Blessing. When you hear somebody's testimony, it's kind of whips your faith up to let you know that if this brother or sister received this from God or breakthrough, you are also online. If you didn't receive your breakthrough in 2021, expect something in 2022. Saturdays in the morning, even before you think about going to wash your face, Dr. Osus is already online. Bashing his music, what you call the Chukuchaka, morning keteke and all that stuff. You have birthday requests made. If you want to request for a birthday music for somebody, sometimes we wait till somebody dies and we want to shout out all the obituary and this man was so good. He gave me, a monkey leg to eat when I was hungry. All that stuff is good. But then let's appreciate people when they are alive. If it's somebody's birthday, don't be stingy. Just call the person. It doesn't hurt to call somebody and say happy birthday. These days, Facebook will remind you. Those of you who don't want to remember people's birthday, go to Facebook. There's a column that will remind you about every friend of yours who is on Facebook. Sometimes I forget, and then it will pop up on your phone. The following people have their birthdays. How can you forget? And Dr. Osus is very good at that. He knows everybody's birthday, and he will bash you some music to let you feel that you are on top of the world. I remember when it was my birthday, I think it was Sister Emily and myself. He made us feel so special on top of the world. So Saturdays, join in from 6 to 9 and enjoy all the, KTK music that you can think about. And then the Saturday evening, you have what you call the health is wealth. Protect it. Your health is your wealth. Don't be thinking that because you don't have $1 million in your account, you don't have anything. The fact that you are alive, not spending money on medication. Do you know how many people are in the hospital right now? Do you know? You have no idea. My wife is a nurse, so I understand what it means. People are in the hospital on ventilators trying to breathe. And so if you are not on any of these things, thank God and enjoy your wealth. You're not spending money. As we pray for those who are sick, we also want to enjoy that blessing. So if you have health, it is your wealth. You don't have to go and buy all this, medication. They tell you to go and buy this. You are saving all that money. It's going to your account. So enjoy your health. Make use of the health. and make sure you are exercising and doing everything. That's also another topic on this one. So Saturday evenings from 6 to 7. The whole theme is on. Era 1 is Jack of all trades, master of all. We give you everything. Come Saturday evening and enjoy this blessing. All right. And then Sundays, that is the climax, although it's a 24/7 cycle. Sunday in the morning, we have gospel throughout when people are at church. Dr. Osus is playing music, And in the evening, the 4 ladies, the quartet, led by Sister Dorcas, our first lady. Sister Dorcas, Sister Gifty, Sister Annette, Sister Selena, and sometimes lady joins them, and they tell us all the stuff we want to hear from women as far as marriage and relationship is concerned. Last week, they talked about disappointment. Whatever topic you give them, they will flip it around. It's just like giving a lady pepper and tomatoes, and there may be 1 Kobe or something. They will give you a nice soup with fufu attache. So this lady flipped the topics, and it's so exciting. I mean, these ladies are experienced. So join in every Sunday from 7 to 8 and enjoy this beautiful program called Aware Inkiti, or Nkomo Nkiti. They call it Nkiti, but by the time you finish, you are endowed with a lot of apo. All right, let me take a quick break, and then when I come back, we are going to our last session, which is talking about the mentor. All right.
Sunny wechi, why? I just Only a jolly was sunny wechi, bro. Miniaba, come on, you know, Bonnie, this summer.
Well, I'm enjoying the music that just when the bass came in, but I have 6 minutes more to finish and wrap up, so we'll enjoy the music later. Well, just when I was leaving, I was talking about the fact that Paul mentioned emulating him, doing what he says and what he does to experience the peace of God. And just like the music said, it's asking, and I say, what is going on? And Matthew 11:28 says that, come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. For my burden is light and my yoke is easy. Tonight I'm asking the question, are you anxious? Do you get anxious and just leave it there and go to sleep and worry and stress? Or do you get anxious, accepting as part of life and surrender you to God? Jesus, Kofi Kenyatta sang this song very well, and I like it. Said, and this guy apparently in the song went to a club and he got drunk and he realized that there's no way he's going to be able to steer the vehicle back home. So he told God, God, come and take the steering wheel and drive the car home because I'm so drunk. If I dare, I am going to land this car in a gutter or something. And he said, I'm a responsible man. I have people looking on to me for sustenance or for food. If I drive this car, I'm going to become a yawa. So Kofi Kenyatta said, Iraji, Bejistian. What I'm telling you tonight is anxiety is part of everybody's life. We all go through stress and we all go through anxiety. Comfort, thank you for the exhortation. She said, beautiful music. I'll always love that music. I can't help not playing. It's a nice music. And the picture, the video depicts, somebody who is worried, languid or, stressed out, walking without hope. But then the musicians are saying, come. The Lord invites you. I don't know where your faithometer is, where your faith level is, but I believe that there is a force that put creation into motion. Some people even believe that there is no God. That is you. That's fine. But I look at my life. And say, no, what? My life couldn't have been put together this way without somebody that put creation into motion. There is somebody that brought, if I look at a computer, I know somebody assembled a computer. And so when I wake up every morning, I know there is somebody who assembled my life. I have 4 minutes. All right. Let me go to my last session, which is Paul asking us to be mentees or being mentors to others. Everybody needs a mentor in life. Paul was a mentor to many people, and he said that if you emulate me, if you follow these principles, this concept that I've relayed to you, your life will be put together, and the peace of God, which surpasses all human understanding, will flow over you. So my dictionary definition that says a mentor is a personal friend who guides a less experienced person by building trust and modeling positive behaviors. An effective mentor understands that his or her role is to be dependable, engaged, authentic, and tuned into the needs of the mentee. So if you want to be a mentor to somebody, first you have to get your life together. Forget about that saying that says, oh, do as I say, not what I do. No, that is bogus. I don't do that. If you want somebody to be your mentee, you make sure you are doing what the person is doing and beyond. It's like a teacher goes to school. If you want to teach kids, you don't just get out from your house and just go and stand in front of the classroom or blackboard. You have to study to know more than what the kids know. Sometimes some of the kids are so smart, they'll point you to things that you haven't even read. It's good to learn from each other. But if you want to be a mentor, you should go beyond your mentee. Don't say, oh, just do what I'm telling you, but me, they are not going to do it. It doesn't work. Me can't you be say, oh, me your mentor, me na make sure something with the year, I make us a year, but me and Casa there. I mean, okay, make out just a man of Jot, a best say lungs. Let me try me one, no makoso a ganjamu, no puhusena in your face. What kind of hypocrisy is that? So as a mentor, you have to walk the fine line. Make sure you are doing what you don't, you are doing what you want your mentees to do. And the word mentor, I found out it happens to be the name of a trusted friend in the movie or a story of Odysseus, the king of Ithaca. And it says that when Odysseus fought in the Trojan War, mentor served as a friend and counsel to Odysseus' son Telemachus. And that's what the dictionary says, an act of mentoring somebody. So you want to make sure you are up there before you can mentor somebody. Normally, they wouldn't pair you up with somebody if your life is not put together yourself. You have to be up there to be strong, because you are going to encourage the person. If the person is like, you are a mentor and your mentee keeps bringing math questions to you and you can't solve it. The person goes to class, he didn't understand what they taught him. So as a mentor or on the side teacher, you yourself, as a mentor, I'm not saying you should know everything, but as a mentor, you should be discipline yourself to be able to be somebody's mentee. All right. I believe that everybody needs a mentor in this life. Mentor. Mentor. If you are president, you need a mentor. Can you imagine if the American president, the Ghanaian president, any president, every point, maybe every 6 months, I mean, they do it on phone, I don't know. But let's say every quarter, I'm going to invite all the former president. Now we have about four living president. Call all of them to the Oval Office. Hey, this is what the country is experiencing. This is what I want to do. I want your suggestions. And they all meet as a mentor and counsel him and say, oh, we have been in this Oval Office before. We know what goes on here. This is what we want you to do. So we are all in the country. That's what a mentor does. And I believe it's something that leadership must look into. We can have all the ex-president, having a meeting, coffee tea or whatever meeting. I'm sure maybe they consult each other here and there. But with partisanship going on, this one says I'm a Republican, this one says I'm a Democrat. I don't know what happens. But everybody needs a mentor. Even if you're the president, you need a mentor. Somebody will tell you, hey, this is the way to go. If it comes to COVID-19, what are you supposed to do? All right, quickly, what is the role of a mentor? The mentor broadens the mentee's viewpoint on a matter or on life issues. The person has gone through that journey before. What you are going through now, the mentor has gone through, so he knows what you should do to be able to achieve positive results. That was what Paul was talking about. I have walked this fine line. I have betrayed Jesus before until he met me at Damascus and smashed me. I know what it feels to be smashed. I know how it means to be anxious. I'm telling you, if you follow these disciplines, your life will be better. The mentee also helps to increase understanding of a topic or situation. The mentor knows what the mentee needs. They have gone through that process. Normally, when they pair you up with a mentor, they give you somebody who is in line with your discipline or something you are doing, so they can advise you. If I am an accountant and you give me, let's say, a doctor or somebody, any profession outside now, I may not be effective. If the person is asking me some accounting questions, I will have no idea and I'll be fumbling. So mentors normally are people who are skilled in certain areas. They help to sharpen critical thinking skills. The mentor will push you to the edge. They will make you think. If you have a mentor who is on his feet or her feet, they will make you think beyond your wildest imagination. Later, I can say, oh, I'm glad you are in my life. The mentors always, they build confidence in you. They give you a sense of self-efficacy. They make you feel that you can do it. It's not somebody who's going to always put you down, somebody who will encourage you. You can do it, you can do it, and you can do it. And they give honest feedback. The mentor is not supposed to babysit you and pamper you and do it. If you do A and it's wrong, so when you just continue. No, this guy will give you an honest feedback. You have a former president who can meet you and say, Jack, this decision you make is going to affect the nation. When I was there, I didn't do this, so take it this way. And if the mentee listens, it's going to be better for their life. And then they provide new opportunities for growth in professional practice. They will help you. They network. The mentors are higher up in the hierarchy. They have connections here and there. So as you are coming up as a mentee, they can help you into connections to meet people who will help you. All right, it's 7:02. My time is up, and I'm sure I have to be wrapping up. So we all need somebody that we can look up to. It could be your parents and it could be anybody. Your parents are even, your mentor, but some kids are so stubborn, they don't even see their parents as mentors. Your parents have gone through what you are going on. They can advise you, but some of the kids don't listen. But your parents can be mentors. And people around you in schools, look for somebody who, if you're athletic, look for somebody who can run 100 meters in 10 minutes or 9 minutes. If you want to call Usain Bolt and say, be my mentor for running, that's fine. But look for somebody who is better than you. And when you have fulfilled all these attributes that Paul talks about, anxiety will be there, but it's not overcoming you. You only with your eyes would you see it. Anxiety we are not prevented from going through stresses of life and anxiety, but when they come, surrender it to God. Pray with thanksgiving and trust that God is going to see you through. So tonight, I'm ending this little exhortation. All I've been saying tonight is that be anxious, but then for nothing. Be careful for nothing. Be anxious for nothing. But in whatever it is, be prayer and thanksgiving. Let your supplications be surrendered or given to God. You can be stressed. We all go through it. COVID-19 is bashing our behind. We are stressed. So many people are telling you, go and get a vaccine. Maybe you don't want to get it. It's an anxiety. And so every cough you say, oh, because I didn't get a vaccine, that is why I'm going to die or whatever. But then whatever it is, pray. Prayer is a good factor. Pray, and the God that we serve, the Holy Spirit, will refresh you. The peace of God, which surpasses all human understanding, will envelop you. Once you pray and you live it there, don't stress again. You and God cannot be the watchman at the same time. You and God cannot be the watchman at the same time. Last time my daughter went to work, and she told me she was closing at a certain time, and it was past that. Of course, they have to, finish up. She's on college break, and she still wants to work anyway. The time that I thought she was coming, she hadn't come. And I said, Lord, I'm not going to stress. I just prayed for her and went to sleep. I said, God, both of us cannot be watchmen. I prayed, committed her to the hands of God, and I went to sleep. Everything was fine. So you cannot compete with God when it comes to watching. Commit into the hands of God, and you are safe. Thank you very much for being with me tonight. Comfort, I wish you all the best. Merry Christmas, and I'll meet you again on Thursday. So let me leave you with just one song, and then I think Dr. Osus will take over. All right, let me play this hospital.
Hello, beautiful people of Ghana. This is Boison Specialist Hospital. We are so excited to announce to our people Ghana that we are finally opened and we are accepting patients. At Boison Specialist Hospital, our extraordinary physicians and nurses are here to provide a high quality medical service to our extraordinary patients. Our services include primary care services, maternal, neonatal, and pediatric services. We also have an in-house pharmacy. We have x-ray and laboratory services available to you. Come to us for all your healthcare needs, and you will be happy you did, because we believe the health is wealth. Thank you, and stay blessed.
All right, peace out.
Hallelujah. Amen. Cristo Mumba. Cristo Mumba. Cristo Mumba.
Obatampa. Wamina mi tutumara monsinia ekron Aweja Eja tumi sene wadoye tino Mi pasene dani signboardo Dame chura manfu okwai Na sobe tumi pofre mua Minya kwa mamikira Enti dumi sene wadoye tino Dumina mi hulu mina kai papa Dumina mi nyenyansa kuma Eja dumyo mi wura Yesu mami sipa ini mi na papa odun foto mi Batampa mami na mi tutuma na monsi papa dumi zanya wadoye nutie me pesa na danya chwe Macha for kwaida Nami dia mi kwaje abami Weye musu mamekira Bisaya masini bio edura basu na minka huana mi pasa medane signboard atrecha fufro kwa mwenya ukwaje na mi de mi kwaje abomi wedi ye musio kura Obrigweya no Obrigweya Bisaya masini misini bio Edura basu na minka huana Mi pesa me dani signboard Atrecha fufro kwa mwenye ukwaje Na mi de mi kwaje abomi Eye musio manumpare mikura Ne nano po kansembi Osi mi di mini pendi na mi shene ni ya Mi kansa machura fufro ya bua Misumanye ni ya upa Oh, ejavoa mi yo na mi sa.
Si a fresh air. Eche ma mi omunye. Na fe de o mo na utwe bi.
O man come na.
Ni mo ni ka.
Mana asma wo.
Bi asma.
Bole ben mai. Ni esimu ya ma ko ma mi ntia, ese utwa wa kono do. Ni sa. Ba bo na ka. Wo se no na ma mo ba ma bo. Sa me mo re. Ana me kwa me ntia bo ma chepa. Bible dia Bible kana me ka chere wo.
Aso anyam na. Do ya ufana mabwe. Anami di mi jumtu yede de bia wasuma. Aso anyam na. Ona ufana mabwe. Anami di mi jumtu yede de bia kaka. Aja uchiche waduma chediano odumfo odum medumto no kware midi medumto yakasama jimpimpi mama odino me pesa me dani signboard ma chwa fofro kwa monya kwaje na me de me kwaje abomi weye musu ma me kira papa dumi na me nsam ni ankopa Mami wani monyamno mi pesa me dani signboard Onchiro sani o ami o na mi sanni mi ne kosa Ye wakota mana Onchiro sani o ami o na mi timi ma bro boy so